My favorite thing about coming to the bog is that you really feel like you're stepping back into time, ecologically speaking, but also stepping into a different environment that you just don't really see anywhere else in Pennsylvania. Hi, I'm Josie Marino, and I am the Community Engagement Specialist at the Nature Conservancy at their Hauser Nature Center and Long Pond Preserve. A bog is generally characterized by having very soggy soil, and the soil is not like soil you would find in a forest in Pennsylvania, but it's actually made up of layers of peat. And peat is basically partially decomposed sphagnum moss and other kinds of plant material. Only a very specific type of plant community can actually survive in a bog. If you were to look for this environment anywhere else, you would have to go much further north, basically into Canada. So this is pretty unique for Pennsylvania. The reason that there is a boardwalk in the bog is basically because the soil here is really soggy, and if you were to walk on top of it, you could sink down in. It's completely saturated with water. So the boardwalk was constructed, but it also floats on top of that mat. So as you're walking, you might get a little bit of a wobble, but it's all part of the experience. Another reason I personally think this bog is really special is because of the accessibility that our partners, Kettle Creek Environmental Education Center, provides. So they do guided tours here, and also they bring fourth graders in Monroe County out to visit the bog. What's interesting about this bog is that there's plants here that you probably won't find in many other places in this area. So for example, we have black spruce trees in here and tamarack trees, which is really the southern end of their range. We also have the infamous carnivorous plants that exist in the bog. So we have pitcher plants here, and we also have sundews that are here as well. So we have blueberry here that blooms in May and June, and we also have sheep laurel that has a really beautiful pink flower. Most people, when they think of a cranberry bog, they think of, an Ocean Spray commercial. So this is a little bit different. There are cranberries that grow in this environment. However, there's just not as much because they're not cultivated here. Although you do need a guide for this part of the bog, you can actually visit other parts of the preserve that are outside of the protected wetland. There are a couple of trails off of Bog Road that are accessible to the public. The Northwoods Trail, which will take visitors just through a mature hardwood forest. And then there's also the Fern Ridge Trail, which goes through a little bit of a forest, but then it will also go adjacent to the bog as well. It's really cool that a lot of people get to enjoy this national treasure that's right in our backyard.